Well, howdy. Fancy seeing you here. Welcome back to Articulate. This week, I once again failed to post on time and to actually even record an episode, which is really disappointing to myself. And I really wanted to do, an episode just one-on-one, you and me. We haven't done one of those in a while, so I plan on doing those soon. Hopefully, recording. It's just me adjusting again. I think I mentioned it last episode. I'm just adjusting to this new work schedule, and being back in Athens is 40 plus hours a week, and still have some school stuff, and there's a lot going on here, and it's very busy, and excuses. Basically, I'm just a piece of trash, so that's fine. But I actually went back and found this episode with Evan, because I work with him again at the hotel in Athens, and I went back and listened to it. It's actually not a bad episode. It's definitely, there's not a lot of direction, and this was before I personally think I was a lot more articulate in general, and there, it's just all over the place. But I still think there's good parts to it. It's an interesting conversation. Evan's a great guy, and it's still fun to listen to. So I figured I could use this as a filler episode, but also as an episode to get to know me and get to know Evan a little bit. So it's really fun. Again, he's a great guy, so I hope you enjoy it, and I think you will. So here she blows. I was just talking about it today. Like, in the film industry, is like there's so much that goes into a film. Like, the screenwriter, first of all, has like the original idea of like how he wants the movie to shape out. Then there's the directors, the actors, the editors, and then just everybody involved has their own. I was actually reading a book on it, and it's called like, not important what the title is. It was called How to Get Into Hollywood or something like that. But it was. Don't worry about that part. Yeah. Just the title. But it was actually really informative, because I wanted to learn about the industry, and it was like unfortunately it was written in like the 90s, so it was the industry back then. But it's still like interesting to like learn about how it worked and how it kind of relates back. But anyway, so like the creative ideas, like there's so many different minds, and like actors, so many different hands in the pot, right? They're typically actors because they're big, their personalities are just big characters. So it's like everybody just has.
And you can think about casting with that too, like your vision of the characters. I mean, think about like
exactly.
Like books you had as a child, and like your vision of what characters are like.
Right, Percy Jackson.
Oh, you!
I knew that's exactly what you were thinking.
That's
of,
exactly
right?
what happened to me.
Yeah,
right. And also Mad Eye Moody, because he was eerily similar to how I mentioned it.
Really? Okay. I never read the Harry Potter books, unfortunately. I read like the last one as the movie was coming out, just because I was young. I was late on the show. I know. I'm the worst. I apologize. But yeah, no, exactly. The Percy Jackson movies are like, Grover was, not that it's important, but Grover was a black. It's
I feel like that didn't bother me just because like it would work for like the character. The one that pissed me off was that Annabeth wasn't blonde.
Yeah.
That was like the
they morphed her with another character.
All of the children of Athena were all blonde.
Exactly.
And then she was just a brunette. I was like, that.
And the blue eyes.
It's like Harry not having a scar. Like that's.
Yeah. Actually, you're right. That did kind of make me mad. Well, they mixed her and Clarice, which was supposed to be like the other character.
Clarice was the daughter of Ares, right?
Yeah. She was the war. Yeah. Did you read the whole series?
Yeah.
You dog, dude. Oh, you would, man. That's why we like each other. That's literally the only reason why we
love that series. You forget, me and my friend as a child, we fucking made Camp Half-Blood t-shirts to go see that disappointment. I swear to God, the only thing I ever put in my, like, flip phone, like, calendar, because no one ever used those. Those weren't useful to anybody.
No.
Even the people that used Blackberries back then didn't use the calendar.
Right.
I put in the date for the movie on the calendar back when, like, YouTube wasn't really even, like, that in the scoop on things. Right. I was still trying to, like, see if it was actually, like, going to be released.
Damn.
On, like, YouTube and stuff like that. And
dude,
I was
not gonna lie,
so excited for that
I
movie.
liked the movie, to be honest. It was definitely a letdown from the book.
As a person.
I don't like you. I just like Logan Lerman, the main actor. He's like my brother.
He was incredible in Fury.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a great movie.
Underrated movie.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't heard of like a lot of people that watched it, honestly, or bring it up. That's
honestly,
a great movie.
Honestly, like Brad Pitt just as an actor, I felt was underrated until, of course, he just won an Oscar. But,
yeah, true.
And I was just like, I don't know.
But also, I did a project on Percy Jackson in 5th grade. Dude, I have a rap for Percy Jackson. It's a country song we wrote for Grover. And then Annabeth, we did like a poem. And we like did a whole thing, man. It drew pictures and everything.
Just the way that you said, I have a rap, was confusing.
I have a rap. I have a rap.
I have a rap. It's like, wait, what? Oh.
I did kind of phrase that.
Oh.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
Have you ever seen
that fits? No.
There's this documentary called I'm Still Here with Joaquin Phoenix, and it was like after Walk the Line, and like he kind of made a name for himself. Right after that, he made this documentary with Casey Affleck, which is Ben Affleck's brother. In case you didn't know that.
Oh yeah, no, Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah, there you go. That's wow. But he in the documentary, he's just like, he acts like in real life like he doesn't want to be an actor anymore and pursue that, and tries to like start a rap career, and that's basically what it seems like, because he was like I have a rap. I have a rap. Yeah, and then just kind of like did that. It was a really weird document. There's two dicks. They pull out dicks in it randomly.
I mean, why would you not if you had it?
that cast, an all-star cast like that. And
as director. Oh God. I thought that I just knocked out.
That would have been bad. I have a rap.
We should start this soon.
Oh, it's on, dude. It's been recording.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Anyway, we should start. And we're live.
Welcome.
This is Evan Patterson, by the way. Interesting story. I actually have you in my phone as Evan Williams because we bartend together, and I didn't know your last name for a while.
That's probably my favorite, like, little memories of as a kid, like, looking back on things, and your parents tell you stories now. I was, like, 4 or 5, walked downstairs to, like, the pantry area,
yeah,
and I just look over on the shelf next to me, and to preface the story, my parents met behind a bar. They were both bartenders.
Oh,
and to preface this, I look over, and I was like, Mom, look, it's my name. And it's a bottle of Evan Williams.
Oh, man.
And then my mom just looks over and she goes, shit, because my middle name is actually William.
Oh, really?
It's out of my grandfather.
Oh, man. Nice, dude. That's awesome. I think that's something to be proud of, right?
Oh, my God.
Maybe not for your mom, but...
I thought it was hilarious.
For you?
How did 2 people as bartenders miss that one?
Yeah. Just completely with it. Yeah.
Yes, that is.
And now you're a bartender.
I am.
With me. Which is weird, because that's what I was going to ask you. Is like, I have been in the serving industry my whole life, and so like being a bartender isn't that weird for me. But like, well, you're like, you're going to be a nurse. I don't know what the technical name is.
I am going to be a nurse.
Yeah.
So, I will have to be a nurse before I do what I end up wanting to do.
Which is?
I want to be a psychiatric nurse practitioner. Work with kids in need, which is it was actually really cool. There was small tangent. My mom worked at a scrub shop, like scrubs, like going to house with scrubs. When I was in high school, and I was just helping her out one day after school, and the guy I walked in who ended up becoming a mentor to me, and he does exactly this. Is he works with kids after like traumatic situations, like at-risk kids. And primarily it's like after like natural disasters and things like that, and he travels a lot. There's like after Katrina, he was like super busy. Mm-hmm. It's like events like that, and they just go all over, and I don't know, just definitely what I want to do.
Oh man, dude, that's exciting. That's honestly like, I don't know, I just love when people actually have like a dream, you know what I mean? Because not everybody is fortunate enough to like find that one, you know?
No, I definitely literally landed on my lap because I knew that I wanted to help people, and I've always just been really, I guess, into advocacy for, or just in general for mental health. Yeah. And I always saw that kind of coinciding, but then of course the whole nursing thing is this, there's also a clinical background too. So like you can easily identify the difference between like, I don't know, being able to be with patients for a while as a nurse, interacting in the way that you do as a nurse, just gives you more of an insight into like like the same symptoms for like mania, for like hypocalcemia or something like that. And so like you can tell a physiological somatic difference with the other symptoms too. I just thought that would be like advantageous.
Yeah, dude. That's cool, man. You know, like it's, you know, you see, we can get into that, which I definitely want to.
But we don't.
But no, but we were in the middle. Remember, that was a tangent. We were in the middle of talking about the bartending, like how you got into bartending. Yeah. So we can always come back to that. But
bartending has been such an amazing experience.
How did you get? That's what I'm saying. Like,
so
what
really
is it?
Fun fact about that bar: my sister and my brother-in-law met behind that bar.
Oh yeah, I think you told me that.
Lucy and Sarah, who are also people that we work with, knew my sister and brother-in-law, and they like all partied together.
And they went hard together.
So they were all the same age. And that's a distance here. So I ended up needing a job, and it was literally my sister kind of, you know, called in a favor, and also I had probably one of the most ridiculous sets of interviews ever.
So your sister...
Yeah, basically called in a favor, and I got in touch with Lucy, who basically got me on board, and the other bartenders there have just seriously just, you know, taken us under their wing and taught us everything, and I don't know, it's just been an unbelievable experience there.
Really? And so did you have any other jobs before, like small, like minimum wage jobs?
I had been bar backing and serving and hosting.
Okay, so you do have experience in it, for sure.
And then I was also an RA.
Oh, yeah.
That was, oh, goodness.
As you...
as I...
Yeah.
I need this because I was an RA.
Yeah, fair enough. So how does it, like, do you relate, you know, bartending to your actual major and dream in any way at all?
Oh, that's a fair question. So I would say that, like, patient care and, like, just customer care, like, just caring for people, getting them, like, what they need, could definitely go hand in hand. But that's just, I don't know, just getting to know people, being able to just interact with human beings,
right.
I guess. And I guess you could kind of get that in any job. But I could definitely see, like, a comparison. Yeah, I mean, you are, like, one of the nicest guys that I've ever met. It was funny, Patrick actually, like, told me, like, after he met you, he was like, dude, Evan is one of the most polite people that I have ever known. Like, one time, like, one of his pet peeve is, like, being called Pat. So, you know, he gives people one. And you go, I don't know. He goes, hey, don't call me Pat. And you're like, oh, sorry. And in a way where he was like, he thought you didn't hear him. And he was like, oh, just don't call me Pat. It's just like one of my pet peeves. And he goes, no. He's like, no, I was just saying sorry. And you're like, no, I was just saying sorry. I apologize that I called you Pat. And he's like, I don't know. He was just like, he's just one of the nicest, most polite people that I've ever met. And you are, man. You can see it, you know, at the bars when, you know, around me, you're really nice. And, you know, around other people, that's why people like to be around. You're going to make me blush.
So
yeah, bartending is also amazing just because where we bartend, I think is hilarious at our age. And the sheer amount of cougars that come into the bar is...
It's intense. Martini Mondays...
I don't know how you survive.
There's just, I mean, I don't come out without scratches, I'll tell you that.
You know, you do your best.
Yeah.
you're really going to only ask so much. Right. Oh my goodness.
That's fun,
my favorite moment was recently there was one woman at the bar, and I ended up talking to her, and I don't know how it came to be. I ended up in the situation, was looking back on how it was possible I ended up in that she was asking basically to come hang out with me, and then it ended up being that she was coming to my apartment that night.
What?
And I was sitting there, and I was like,
how did we get here?
I was like,
she was just...
You're good. I was just astounded. I was like, how? I was like, dating someone at the time, and I was like, this is
sad.
Definitely not what I want.
Yeah, alright.
And I was just trying. She ends up texting me.
You gave her your number?
No. I had my phone that was charging next to the bar.
Oh, no.
So she just
Oh, like somehow like.
No, I messed that up. Yeah, no, she ended up talking to me because my phone was out, but yeah, she ended up texting me, but I just didn't message her back.
Oh.
And
you gave her your number though?
I think so. I think I must have.
Yeah, I mean, you are that type of guy though. You're just like if it probably wasn't related to like hanging out with her.
God, I did.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up. Jesus. But you know, cougars are cougars. But it was probably for like a work thing or like knowing you. It was probably like for like a she wanted to for like advice or like a network.
I just ended up with this text and I was like, how?
What was the text?
How did I get here? No, I think she was like texting like,
hey sexy. Oh man, yeah. I unfortunately haven't had an experience like that yet.
Oh my God.
But I'm looking forward to it, man. I don't know. So you know that I'm taking an internship in New York this summer, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know if you knew that. I don't know. I feel like I've talked about it. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't like to talk about it a lot and then be like,
I'm going to New York.
Yeah, I'm going to New York this summer. Like, no big deal or whatever. But I'll be like at a bar. So like the amount of you think there are cougars in Athens, but like
you're like you better like think about this.
But so I don't know. I'm just actually looking forward to the network, like just the networking in general there. And
it's
like
just such a cool experience, just interacting with humanity. Just bartending is just fascinating.
Oh yeah, dude. Kind of going back to it, like. See, for this that led me on to thinking about how like I like most customers, but I just hate kids, dude. I fucking like if there's a table with kids, I will ask. I'll be like, can anybody please just take this table? I know it's my turn, but just like you can have them, Like I don't want this.
I just had a special hatred for them after busing, just because of they're
so messy every time.
To me,
why
the sheer amount of mess,
broken crayons, piles of broken crayons.
There was one time I was busting a table and the kid had melted a crayon and there wasn't a flame at the table, and I was just like,
how in the shit?
Trying to basically scrub this out of a wooden thing.
It's because they're devils, dude. He just blew fire on it or something.
What?
I don't understand. But that's what you want to do, dude. You want to help little kids.
I tried cleaning up after them for so long. I was like, dread children coming into a restaurant.
Right. But when they're sick and come into a hospital where they don't want to be at all, then you're like willing to help them out then.
That's completely different.
I guess that's fair.
Just don't bring your children around unless they really need to be.
Unless they really, and they don't want to be at all. Kids don't like going to the hospital. That you like take them there, and it's like a dog. Dogs don't want to go to the hospital, right?
Fair.
I don't know. So it's just like I like the dentist. Kind of is like the same thing as the hospital for kids, I think. And like I don't know, maybe not, but I've heard that.
Just trying to follow you.
Yeah, I'm jumping around a little bit. But it's just because like that's why I'm kind of explaining myself on the fact that, like saying that kids don't want to come to the hospital.
That's fair.
It's just the opposite of like, they want to go eat, but they don't want to go to the hospital. And you hate them while they come to eat, but you're excited to work with them in the future.
Yeah.
When they don't want to see you at all.
Yeah, absolutely. It's genuinely just, I think certain instances brings out the worst in children, and being in a restaurant is definitely one of them.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, definitely.
I definitely want to work with kids, but not ever at a carnival. I just don't think that's.
Oh man.
Where it should be. I think kids in just certain instances are.
What's your least favorite age of kid?
Oh goodness. Bring out the real question.
Seriously, I'm gonna have to say 5th to 6th graders for me, probably.
It's gotta be 7th grade.
Something about
junior high is just terrible for everyone.
It's intense. It's intense. Yeah. And so those, okay, so in that sense, I can see why you would want to help. Why you would want to help somebody in that situation. So.
Fair enough. So New York, where do you want to go after that? What's your plan?
The dream?
Yeah.
It was funny. I was actually talking today about that. That's why I kind of asked you, that's what we were talking about earlier. It was I love when people know their dreams because, they get so happy to, have that in their mind.
Yeah, just if only.
If only, right. If it works out. If you have a 5-year plan, Evan, come on.
Sure.
Sure, as you've been to school, no, it's going to be 5 years. That was your 5-year plan, is being in school for 5 years.
I feel like one of my favorite comparisons to college I've ever heard was my sister compared it to the end of Finding Nemo when they are finally push those bags into the water.
Oh, yeah.
And I was sitting there, like, finally, we got out.
And they're like,
now what?
No.
Oh, that is...
It's a great scene. Actually, I didn't even, compare that to real world. Because it kind of, yeah.
Oh, that one just killed me. I was like, wow, that is...
That's good,
fair.
yeah.
That is fair.
So, I don't know. I want to stay in New York, I like screenwriting. I think, there's a book over there about it. But, there's,
Over yonder.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I just
it's a real plan.
The Hollywood, yeah, it is, yeah.
I'm real serious about it. I got a book.
Look at that book.
It's right there.
I just want to, so I'm going to bartend while I'm doing the internship or whatever, HR. And then kind of just, work myself into, improv groups and, maybe, some acting classes or, screenwriting classes and just kind of, work into the industry. I don't know what I want to do in the industry yet, but I just I don't know, something about it just speaks to me, Like that scene in Finding Nemo. And it's just how we wouldn't be talking about it without the industry. But yeah,
True.
so that's my dream. It's just kind of to figure it out when I get there, kind of thing. I don't know. I'm excited about it.
No, I don't know. I feel like I just want to run away. And I don't really know if it. I definitely don't want to do New York.
Yeah, you want to. We could talk about Nevada a little bit because you already went out there and apparently you really loved it.
So Nevada was a trip. So get this true story. My drugs in the brain professor asks me to go out and work on his ranch in the summer. And
use your brain and do drugs out there.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Wait, really?
And no, it's legal in Nevada.
Oh, nice. Didn't know that.
But that was, of course, not the main purpose.
Yeah, right.
But
what was the work though?
Oh my god, it was grueling. It was. We were.
You say it with a smile and
it was incredible. Though. You have to picture it. So let me get through this. So he asks us to go out there, and I of course drag in 4 of my closest friends, and we're all like, this is either going to be the greatest or the worst thing we're ever going to do. We're agreeing to go and work for a crazed drug professor man in the desert.
In the desert.
And we're like, this is going to be incredible or terrible. We'll find out. And so we, for some reason, sign up to go out there. And so the plan is that they're flying us out, of course, and flying us back. And the thing is that he didn't really care where he got the tickets for, so where we're flying back from. So we actually decided to do a road trip after we were working through Zion and then fly back from Salt Lake City. So we're like, okay, this is, no matter what, we're gonna have a day.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be real.
We go out. Ends up being the most incredible experience of my entire life. So I go out for a month. So I was out there 2 weeks earlier than my friends, and the ranch is probably the most beautiful thing I might have ever seen.
Well, that's a good surprise.
And it's unbelievable. So it's in the Ruby Mountains is what it bunches up against.
Right.
And
it's just completely flat, and then just in the distance you just see the mountains back.
But and then there's the Rocky Mountains, and it's just gorgeous. Right. And there's a lot that we're really not allowed to talk about just because of how incredible of a place it is.
What?
That's why I'm not using the professor's name.
Oh, okay.
And
that's fair.
But I think I can say as much as is of course
important to the story.
This isn't going to affect anybody.
Yeah, nobody's really listening.
So the thing is that they have unbelievable. We don't think about it like that out here.
Oh, really?
Out east, but that is unbelievably how much land you have is your wealth, and it's they have an unbelievable amount of wealth, but it's just comes in a very different form.
Yeah.
And it is just interesting because while we're out there, he really had this philosophy of, you know, life is incredibly short, and it's like everything you do to its max. Like you work incredibly hard during the day, and then you just have an incredible night, and then you just, you know, you do everything, like when you eat, like
it should be
make it awesome.
Yeah.
And everything was just to its max the whole time. It was
Oh,
like we
man.
went out and
that sounds amazing, dude.
we worked super hard all day, and then we'd come home and like, so it was me in the beginning. It was me, my professor, his German partner, and another person that works at the university. Were all out there, and his German partner would already have a joint ready.
Oh man.
And drinks as soon as like we were getting off, and it was
man.
we had these like old beaten up trucks that we were driving all the way out to where we were working in, and of course like everything was like in a lunch in a box, but it was, I don't know, it was just
dude, that makes me like, I understand kind of now, like you have this appreciation for life, which I can just feel, dude. Like
that's truly like what it was. It was just like an unbelievable experience. Like the things that,
like the pain, like the work was like the amount of pain, and like during the day you're just like completely.
But it was amazing. Like when my friends got out there, like, oh my god, I have so many stories. So, one of my first experiences. So at the beginning, what we were doing is we were riding around on these really large ATVs, like these like big work machines, and there's like 100-gallon tanks strapped to the back, and we were spraying weeds. Because of course, like you think about all that land that they can reclaim, then they can use for their cattle.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like that's huge.
Right. That's crazy. That's like a business move for them, you know.
That's crazy. That's what the craziest thing is like you think like farmers and ranchers like almost not as
like,
well educated.
Yeah.
This guy, I kid you not, like perfect score on his SAT, like doctorate from MIT.
That's wild. That's you just kind of see them as like
unbelievable genius.
Oh my.
Like in his family, none of them were dumber.
Really?
Like just their like knowledge of just genetics and everything for the cattle and all this other stuff. Like, it's like just they all were incredibly knowledgeable, but just about different things that like you would not expect people to be super knowledgeable about.
Yeah.
And just and it was like one of my favorite moments was we were out and we had there was a river that essentially, or like more like a creek, was going through these two mountains that we were working between, and we couldn't get across. So we took a whole bunch of this sagebrush that was just like lying around, and me and Mannix, who's my professor's room partner, decided to build a bridge. And just out of like all this stuff, we didn't even say a word together. We just like built this whole thing.
Oh, you just knew.
And this guy's like on the top of a mountain and just like smiling down.
Oh man.
Oh my god! Like, oh god, I have so many stories.
What was the ATV one that you were telling?
Oh my god! So, two of my best friends, Owen and Nick, came out with me. It was Owen, Nick, and AJ came out, and to understand the characters, oh my goodness. Nick's the guy that like you don't remember ever being sober. Like since the age of 12, I swear to God, this kid's been stoned.
Damn.
And,
okay.
And Owen is like really intelligent, very personable, all around is like really good guy. Nick's a piece of shit.
We fucking hate him.
Love him.
I love it.
And,
what? Yeah, like for your Nick, you were just like, yeah, he's just been stoned for forever. And then this other guy, you're like, yeah, he's the greatest, like most personable, like relatable guy. And then Nick's a piece of shit.
I'm not kidding. You think I'm joking?
That's crazy. But you guys all get along so well.
I'm equally close to each other. Oh yeah, no, we just rag. It's like my group of like really funny friends. We just like rag on each other all the time.
Oh, nice.
And it's the best.
It's my favorite thing.
Just like, oh my goodness. But so they came out And so when I was out in the beginning, there's a really, really cool, one of the ranches that they own is called the Dinner Station. And actually the ranch is a whole bunch of them put together. So, but one of them was called the Dinner Station, and it was literally an hour out there to get to the ranch house, this one. And then it was an hour out into the mountains to get where we're going. And of course, like, this is area that, like, has never been touched, like, since U.S. has been literally founded. Like, no one has.
Yeah, real quick, have you
besides,
seen...
like, Native Americans, like, people have not been out there in so long, and it's just, it was so...
Wait, have you seen Ballad of Buster Scruggs at all? It's related, I swear. I swear it's related. I swear.
No.
Oh, there's just this, it's like short stories, and there's this one where this guy, like, is like an old-timey, he's traveling out for the gold rush, but he walks into this beautiful valley where it hasn't even been touched by man, it's just like... You see the deer out there and like the butterflies. It's just beautiful, man. So I mean, that
was unbelievably accurate. It was just so different, and it was just so just untouched. It was like, it was really. There's a word I'm looking for, but it was just so cool. But it was also very dangerous, of course, because there weren't like really roads or anything like that, and it was like. Really crazy old roads that like didn't really go through there.
Yeah.
And
for the ATVs.
The mountains you had to like go over. And so, but again, an unbelievable experience. Like one of the coolest pictures I've ever taken. It was like in this valley between two of these mountains, and there it gets so hot sometimes that rain will start falling, but then it'll evaporate like halfway down, and it like forms like a little funnel cloud. But it was like. Yeah. It's just rain.
Yeah.
And you can just like see it cut off in like the middle of the air.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't know, just like everything is so different than I guess I expected.
Yeah.
Because like, I guess just because it was so arid, like it was unbelievably hot.
Yeah.
But then you'd get behind a rock with some shade and it would be
the coolest thing.
Astoundingly cold. Like you would never. It was like the weirdest.
Dude, it kind of relates to like the extremes. You know what I mean?
It was like the most stunning thing about being out there is probably like what you looked forward to. Like you never expect yourself to look forward to. Like a truck that had been sitting in the desert for all day.
Yeah.
You just could not wait to get inside of it because it was so much colder in there.
Because of the shade.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was.
It's like holes.
It was. Oh my goodness, it was.
Yeah, no, that's what. So I've been working recently, trying to, trying to connect with like spiritualism and everything, and because like I don't know, everybody goes through their own issues and whatnot. So like being able to appreciate like. I don't know, waking up in the morning when you wake up and you feel like a piece of shit, like you're hungover, you're like fucking, you just like rub your eyes. There's just like crust that falls everywhere, and like, yeah, and you're just the worst. Like a lot of the worst moments of my day are in the morning, and so like trying to be appreciative of like how shitty you feel then, and like how shitty you feel during work, but like comparing that to when you're out like with friends, you know what I mean, and trying to like. It's like the extremes are like pretty mild here at college, whereas you worked out in the heat, like sweated your balls off, did grueling work, and then I don't know, like you said, it just makes you think like appreciate so much more.
And it was just all the experience of everything was just I don't know, it was incredible. Like it's one of the so I'll tell a story about my friend's accident first, but I'll go into that too. But so what we were talking about with the ATV and my friend at the dinner station is that after I went and had that experience and just it was incredible and I wanted to have my friends have the same experience, but of course they just were not nearly as experienced with what they were doing as I had been because I had been doing it for weeks at that point.
Right.
And
so it was cool. You got to like be their mentor for a little bit.
No, most definitely. But the thing is, like, he was like, "Do you think they're ready for it?" And I was like, "I definitely think." I was like, really considering it because I know how dangerous it was. So you think about it, like, you get bit by a rattlesnake out there, like.
They had rattlesnakes out there.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's wild.
I never saw one, but I mean, there are definitely snakes out there, probably.
Yeah, and if you like crash your ATV.
My favorite one is they will sunbathe out on those. Sagebrushes, and so one of the people that was out there talked about like they'd seen that happen. Like,
Yeah. I got you.
It was like just blows your mind, things you'd never think of. But so I recommended them to go to it, and I was like, this might not be the right decision, but I was like, it was Nick and Ellen, the two I already talked about. AJ is an idiot. Would not have recommended him for it. But those two, I was like, they're both really hard workers, and I was like, I think that they could definitely handle the work. Because, of course, you're, like, backpacking with, like, these big old, like, 50-gallon things on your back up mountains to, like, get all this stuff. And, oh, my goodness, like, these guys are, like, 60 years old.
Oh, and they are. They're probably rich.
We got, Mannix, the German guy, was, we found out was actually in the army. Mannix, by the way, is the coolest person I've met in my entire life. This guy is, and he's
the German partner. And when you say partner, you don't mean like work partner. You mean like relationship. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, cool.
But that was one of the things they also talked about but they also have multiple partners in like different parts of the world. And
oh, really?
Yeah. And they have like
that's awesome.
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
And I'm not gonna say the number, but one night when we were all talking, one of them told us the number of people they had slept with, and it was, you wouldn't believe.
Through the roof. Anyways, so he's the coolest guy you've ever met.
And,
is it just because, like, he's been doing that for, like, years and, like, has traveled the world?
Think about it, though. Like, he literally gets to come to America, to that incredibly beautiful place, literally having an American cowboy genius
True.
when he comes down here for that time.
Damn.
And then he just like goes back to Dusseldorf.
Man.
Like, it's just such a cool guy.
Yeah.
But they were going out to this really dangerous place. And I was kind of like, I don't know if they're ready for it. I ended up recommending them for it. They ended up going out. And, by the way, this left me and my other friend just rolling barbed wire at the original range, but they all got to go out and have some adventure. Anyways.
Oh, man. That kind of sucks.
And I thought that I had the bad day because I had to spend it with our friend AJ rolling barbed wire. Oh. They come back, and they look like they had done very distasteful.
Very distasteful.
But very well done blackface. Like, they were covered, like, seriously, like, thick in just dirt.
Oh.
I had never, like, it was just like, but it was like also like desert dirt, so it was like packed.
Yeah.
And it was like covered. I could only see like the whites of their eyes.
Oh, man.
And I was like, what happened? Literally, apparently both of them have, there's no reason they should be alive. So one of them, Nick, he's telling a story. He hit just a bump, and I mean, again, these roads are incredibly dangerous, and they're like in the mountains, and I hope that my friend's girlfriend doesn't hear that I'm telling this story. But he literally just hit a bump in the road, skidded him off a little bit, and he went in off a cliff. Into a ravine.
Man.
And he was
How did he survive?
Was telling this, and I was like, what? You drove off a cliff? And he was like, dude, I just decided just to GTA it. And I was like, what?
How did he survive?
He revved the, like, ATV, and it, like, ramped off, like, one of the rocks on the side.
Yeah.
And he, like, and then let go of it.
Oh.
And so he, like, hit the other, like,
side. Oh,
and, like, slid down. And I guess the ATV literally, like, and it's like, people think ATV, like, those little ones in your backyard.
No, they're like, huge. Yeah, they're the big ones, too.
These, like, big Can-Am, like, huge-ass ATVs.
It almost
like,
ran over?
Work thing.
Landed, at the bottom of the
landed right next to his head.
Oh, shit.
And so
that'll make you appreciate life a little bit.
Yeah, you were telling me. So, of course, oh my goodness, he's freaking out about the ATV because, of course, he's, like, worried about it. Because, like, you break a work thing that's worth thousands of dollars, you're just kind of like, oh, God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well,
but, so he's trying to get it out, and apparently my other friend at this point comes down and tries to help him, gets down and around, and is trying to drive it up, but they don't know, and they're being dumb to back it out, which is what you have to do because it's just physics. And he tries to rev it straight up, and he flips it end over end.
Almost back on top of him again?
No, like, he flips it, like, his face over top, and somehow, like, it, like, landed over his shoulder. So, guy number 2, no reason he should be alive.
No, yeah, they both should be completely dead.
And then they, like, go up, and my professor comes down the mountain. Of course, he's watching all this happen. He's on a mountaintop. And he's just like, quit doing it! Quinn can't do it. And there's nothing he can do. So he's just laughing. Just like, there's nothing.
That's pretty cool. He just kind of accepted it and was like, well, might as well laugh at this.
This is as it could be. But that was the thing that they told us, like, at the very beginning. It was like, you really have to worry about, like, the mosquitoes were unbelievable.
The what?
The mosquitoes were unbelievably bad. They came in like clouds.
Ooh.
But it was like the bugs are unbelievably bad.
I don't like that.
The sun is, of course, your enemy. Hydration is the biggest thing, but by far the worst, the most dangerous part about that was the ATVs. Because, like, you don't really think about it, but, like, you can tip one of those over.
Just real easily.
Ugh, dude.
Man, like you said, he just hit one little bump and it just swerved the whole thing.
Yeah, so I almost killed both of my friends taking him out to my drug professor ranch.
Wow, dude. But
by far one of the coolest moments of being out there is just like with, I guess, any rancher stereotype. They had a little kit plane that they play with. Of course, there, again, so much money.
Oh, so it's like a nice, like, little plane.
But, like, it's a plane.
It's like a drone.
And again, really genius people. This guy, my professor's brother, just built this plane. Just because he got interested in planes.
Oh, wow.
And of course, it has, like, all these wires on it, so you see it, it's, like, terrifying. I had to bully my friends to get on this plane with me.
Oh, no.
So, of course, we go up, and I'm sitting up front. And we finally get up in the air, and he's kind of working while he's giving us this incredible experience. And he's flying us around. He's also, like, looking for, like, if there's cattle out and around. And
okay.
He's also seeing, like, if they're, like, out of pasture, stuff like that.
Right.
And he decides to also kind of dig with my friends because they are just shitty bricks. He turns the plane on its side, opens up the door, like, all the way out.
Yeah.
Like, the big old side open door, only one door on the side.
While you're in the air.
While we're in the air. Turns on the side to look, and then flips it back on its side and lets it shut. It's like, look back at my friends are just, like, different shades of white. It's just, oh my God, one of them, Owen, just looks like a ghost. And I just, oh God, it was hilarious.
That sounds awesome. And then, you're just laughing. I can just picture you just like...
So I was living. And we get up closer to the mountains, and he's like, you want to fly it? And I literally hear my friend just, like, sucking his teeth. Just like,
no, Evan, don't do it!
He's, like, behind me. And I was like... But yeah, like, absolutely. I want to fly this plane. Yeah, of course I'm going to. So...
Of course I'm going to fly it.
Of course I'm going to fly this plane over these mountains. And so there's, like, a little gauge for how hard it is to pull it in and out, right? So, like, which is, like, gauges how
hot,
the nose is coming.
Right.
And I'm, like, pulling in this thing, and, like, when he gives it to me, it's, like, he, like, turns it up, and you're looking at this, like, little, like, fake horizon line thing. Just, like, seeing where you're at, and so, of course, I'm, like, aiming right over the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, like, unbelievably hard to pull this in. And
was it like a simulator, or were you...
No, this was a real plane.
Were you flying it?
Yeah.
Oh,
but, like,
so you were in the air holding it,
yeah,
and, like, pulling it up.
pulling this thing in, and so, like, you have to just, like, hold it super steady to keep it on that straight line.
Yeah.
And it was awesome for me because I just had to hold it steady. And I was just, like, putting so much force in it, but it made it so easy for me to just, like, hold it straight.
Yeah.
And it was, like, finally, like, we were, like, getting over for a while, and my friends were just, like, freaking out, but, like, not saying anything. Of course, it's, like, unbelievably gorgeous here.
Right.
And so it's still an incredible
So you can appreciate
experience.
the view and that you might almost die at the same time.
Yeah, the Ruby Mountains. Yeah, we're flying over the Ruby Mountains. It was an unbelievable experience.
Yeah.
And he finally was like, all right, fine, I'm going to take it back because it was, of course, like, going to be much more difficult to fly at that point.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, like, I'm not flying between mountains. That's not something I want to do. So finally he takes back, he's like, oh my god! He like feels the pull on this thing. He's like, I'm so sorry. He like there's like a little dial down at the base, like to see how easy it is to pull it in and out.
Oh,
like cranks it like 5 times,
man.
like pulls it in and out twice, and the plane goes up and down
Wow.
twice. And he's like, alright, there we go. It's just like, my hands are just like butter.
Yeah, just bully.
But it was exactly what I needed. It made it.
Oh, man.
It made it really easy to control.
That's awesome.
But there was the coolest
I kind of want to go to Nevada. Dude, can you hook me up, dude? Let me go there instead.
Come on out, man. There was the coolest part about it though was there was of course all these glaciers at the top of the mountains, and you fly through and they have gouged away at some of the mountain tops over time, and some glaciers have shifted and where they're at, and so there's a hole in the middle of one of these mountains, and so while we were flying by, the sun was setting, and we literally could see a sunset.
Just the perfect sunset.
Through a mountain.
Wow.
And there's of course like in the town nearby, like there's certain times of year like where you can see it even like from the town.
Mm-hmm.
You can see because of where the sun goes through, you can actually see the hole in the mountain.
Yeah.
But it's really, really small.
God damn it. Oh, I got this real quick. It's just a thing. It's just the CO2 detector. We're gonna die. It's basically what it is. It just like when it gets unplugged, it does that. It's like
That's hilarious.
the carbon monoxide detector, and we just like pass out. Dude, that'd be cool to get that on podcast. Us just dying. Wouldn't that be dope? Anyways.
Do so much for your career.
Dude, I mean, honestly, just skyrocket. But yeah, man, I really wish I could like experience like through like what you.
Yeah, I mean,
Even just the way you described it is like just beautiful. Like I'm picturing, you put me in a happy place, man. It's like it's where I want to go to meditate.
Oh, that was like the best part because the living conditions were incredibly primitive. That was probably one of the funniest parts about it. Like, we had to, literally, because the water was actually unbelievably high this last year. So everything was still green when we went out there, which is incredibly rare. Like, everything was supposed to not be like that anymore.
Oh, like, what do you mean?
Just the ground, like the area.
Oh, it was just, so it was supposed to be like dead?
Yeah.
And it was still green.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude.
And so it was beautiful while we were there, but also, of course, it played hell with the ranch itself. We actually, one of the coolest things we did while we were out there was we whole ass built a bridge.
Yeah.
Out of lumber. That was an incredible experience.
It's fucking awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Dude, so are you going back?
Yeah, I am this summer.
Really? Mm-hmm. Just forever now? Just every summer?
I mean, I have to. Like, it literally just like absorbs you. It's incredible. And of course, like again, like going out with your friends to experience that together is. It was unbelievable.
It probably brought you guys closer than like any other experience I ever could.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh man.
I mean, again, it was just
homies for life.
Yeah, and I wish I could just describe the characters of the two guys we were staying with because they're literally like the two coolest individuals I've ever met.
Yeah. So how did you get a professor to invite you?
That is an even funnier story. So I had just finished taking a pharmacology exam, which was horrible class.
Yeah.
And like studying, oh my god, so many hours for those exams. And I had his exam, like 2 hours after it. So I finally get out of this pharm exam, and my brain is just mush. I go to the library.
Oh, okay. So what was his again? The professors. Because you said he was like a brain and drugs guy.
Yeah. Drugs in the brain.
Drugs in the. Okay, so that's what the class was. Mm-hmm. Okay. So your brain was just mush when you got there.
Yeah, I don't know how much I should be saying about this.
True. I can.
But again, I don't think anybody is.
No, not at all, dude. Not,
yeah.
And like, worst comes to worst, he just goes back out to Nevada. I'm just kidding.
But that was one of the most interesting, also just parts of being out there was appreciating that difference in wealth. I mean, to them, like, when, of course, like, whenever you have wealth, people are trying to steal it and take it. They literally have their own dam.
Damn.
And a lake.
Really?
So, in an area where there is no water, they have, like, it's, and of course, like, and their parent had the foresight to literally, like, make it private and pay for the rights for it, like, way back before, like, water rights were what they are now.
Right.
And so it's...
Yeah, he's got...
It's just an unbelievable...
But so...
Like, if I ever wanted to build a resort, ever, I would want to build it right on that land.
Of course. And they're not going to let you ever.
Never.
Which is great. That's awesome.
Which is one of my favorite things he ever said was when we were driving, and again, I wish I could give you the picture of these beat-up old trucks that we were driving into town with. But we're driving in, and he, like, points out a couple of these, like, really large houses, like, on another mountain range that's, like, right next to it. Mm-hmm. And he's like, look at that. It was like... He said they're worse than murderers. I'm like, what? He's like, think about it. Like, he's like ruining something like this, a picture like this.
Yeah.
He was like, that is far more foul to me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, their just mindset is just
that's
different. Like, imagine having labs in Germany and New York and Ohio, and going out and being on a ranch in the summer, and it's just like, how he just looks at the world was just so insightful.
Oh, man.
Just so...
Oh, I bet.
Like, he just, like... Just, how he ate all the time to how he worked. Like, even when... Like, again, probably the most genius person I have ever met. Mm-hmm. When he's in Germany, he will bar back. At, like, 60 years old.
Yeah.
Because he just doesn't... He's like... He said the retirement would be death. He's like, he just doesn't...
Right. I mean, that is how it is for some people. It's like, you can't, if you stop, then that's just like giving up, you know? It's like...
it's just fascinating.
Mm. So, did you not want to tell the story about how you got into the situation?
Oh my god, I didn't even... Oh, okay, I'm off on a tangent again.
No, it's okay.
So, I was getting out of that farm class.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the library. Go to one of those, like, nice little egg chairs. Those, like, soundproof ones.
The comfy one.
Pass out immediately.
Of course. Of course, right.
So, I wake up, and it was like my alarm to leave for the exam goes off.
Oh, shit.
And that's what wakes me up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god. And by the way, the best part about this guy's class was he did these reviews, which were basically everything he wanted you to know. Oh. So it was like what you had to have for the exam was just on there. And it's a novel concept, but like we just learned what he wanted us to know for the exam.
Okay.
So he gave it to us.
Yeah, like those are the best teachers. They're like, this is what's going to be on the exam. Remember this.
Exactly. It's like, oh wow, I know this stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas in nursing school, it's like, all right, so here's a book.
Read all of it.
We're going to just dick with this.
You need to know like
Until
3 of the
it makes
things.
No sense.
Yeah.
And it could be anywhere in here. Oh.
Sweet.
Cool. So I go to this exam. I'm like, there is no way I did even somewhat decent at this. And I, in my hubris, think I can just go and talk to this man and get a free retake on this exam. Like, I don't know. I'm just going to wing it and see if I can do it.
Yeah.
I ended up just talking to him. He, of course, I don't even know if he would have promised for me to do it, but I ended up getting like a 75 on the exam, and I was like, oh, fuck it. No, that's cool. I was like, that is unbelievably lucky. Yeah. Cool. That is good.
Yeah. It's a pass, you know. You got it. So fine. Did he just like laugh at that?
Yeah, and he told me this. I was like, okay, never mind. But I ended up going to this guy's office, and of course he has a map of Nevada in there, and I cannot describe to you this office. He has a chocolate dildo on like one of his like cupboard things in that glass jar from Beauty and the Beast.
What? He's allowed to have that in this?
He's a madman.
Oh my god.
It's my favorite thing. Oh my god. He has like these like booty shorts on his wall from like some like, he had like a whole bunch of like things related to him like being gay, and a whole ass map of Nevada inside, and also like these really cool pictures of him like in his like. He's a whole ass like rancher. Like oh my god.
In his overalls.
I wish I could describe this man to you, but no, he was like, out there. It's incredibly. It's different than you'd expect. You actually want to wear long sleeve shirts because.
Oh, because you don't want to get straight.
You want to get the sun off of you. Is what you need. It's like so. I went out there. We had these like big old hats, like just like these bucket hats, and it's like cotton long sleeve t-shirts and jeans. Because of course it's like what you had to wear to.
Damn, that's so hot.
But it wasn't. That was by far the coolest way. Like you take off your shirt, it is so much hotter because the sun was where all the heat was coming from. So you get the sun.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
It's again things that you would not expect.
Right.
It was just.
So and did he just ask you while you were there, like?
No, I commented on the Nevada poster thing. It was like covering like a whole part of the wall, and he literally like this is how incredible that ranch is. You could circle where it was on the map.
Oh shit! From like
just picture that. Think about that. Like
right.
being able to do that.
And it was a big circle.
I'm not gonna say how big. I've been told not to say how big, but
quite a bit. Wow.
Like I will tell you that I'll tell you they cannot measure it in acres. They have to measure it in miles.
Wow. So did he say? Was he just like?
And not just like.
Yeah, I'm actually going there this summer. You wanna come? It was like.
And no, and he was literally like, if you want to work.
Oh,
and he taught me. He's like, of course, like I'm me. I look like me. He's like, you want to work on a ranch?
Yeah, bigger dude. In case you haven't seen Evan, but you got some muscle. You got some talent. How tall are you?
6'6".
6'6".
I'm a large guy.
How much do you weigh?
Oh,
I don't want to. I don't want to say. I don't want to say.
245.
245. Man, and you look good. You don't look like like chubby or anything. So. Not that being chubby is bad if there are any chubby.
I packed on some meat when I was out there though, because of course like we were working on hauling, and basically what we were doing a lot of the time was we were rolling barbed wire. Again, one of the weirdest thing you would never expect.
Did you get scraped up?
No. Oh my god, you could not do this with these big leather gloves that are meant for rolling. Right. Of course, it still tore through them. And Mannix, a partner guy, he was doing it with literally like mechanics gloves.
Oh my!
But he still could do it. I think these men, I can't describe to you.
Right.
They're like the manliest men you've ever met. Like oh my god!
And like unapologetically like gay too, which is like crazy. That's like. I feel like that's a stereotype that doesn't usually go together.
My favorite moment while we were out there was his. My professor tried to convince me that he was flamboyant. While we were living, literally we had to turn on a pump outside because the water was so high to be able to take a shit.
Oh my god!
And we were like, and it was like a oh my god run down like piece of shit place. It was like a little house in like one of these ranches.
Oh, it probably smelled.
Oh my god! But it was not really. It was called Rosie's. It was my favorite thing.
Rosie's. I'm gonna take a dump at Rosie's.
Oh my god!
That's cute.
It was, and it was like a decently sized house, but it was like.
Yeah. How did we?
Garbage.
How did we get here again?
Sorry, what?
How did we get here again? I'm trying to follow along.
Where? Oh my god, I have.
Oh, because he's just wearing.
Oh, where he asked me basically. He pointed. We're talking about how I ended up out here.
Oh yeah.
He ended up pointing this out on a map, and of course he has these amazing pictures on his walls of like the bonfires and campfires out there, like and what it looked like, and it's like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, do you want to finish the story? So I remember it was the story about him like he was proving his flamboyance.
Oh my god, yes. So so we're in this just shit place.
Yeah.
And we're like just oh my gosh, there's got more. But he goes off and he gets a lamp and it has a little velvet cover for it. He's like, look, I'm flamboyant.
Well, look. Like, that's his proof.
I just oh my god,
I would have maybe
I just
crack up.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
The things I saw him do on that ranch was just
dude, you are a lucky guy that you got to experience, man. I'm jealous. I really am.
It was crazy.
Oh.
It was crazy. And that was exactly what it was. It was like just going for an experience.
Yeah.
That was so much more exciting. The shit that we ate and drank, though.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
So, I think, I'm not going to lie, this has probably gone on. You know, I know you could tell stories for days and days.
Forever,
yeah. And I look forward to hearing more of them, off air. But unfortunately, it's been, I actually recently had to start paying more money because I thought my podcasts were going to be shorter and, like, the media hosting thing is, like, you don't have enough space. So it's like I have to, like, try to limit these to, like, a certain amount.
Absolutely.
And
I literally just have been chatting.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point. You kind of get lost. So we've done an hour, man, and an hour is, like, perfect, It's where I like to be.
It's got enough, bro.
All right. Thanks so much for coming out. And
of course.
Yeah, I appreciate you chatting it up. It is really weird to hear how we talk about the inn and bartending back then versus how we talk about it now. Because now we're super short-staffed, and it's like everything is crazy. If we get busy at all, it's wild. And before we were both really... just passionate and excited about work and everything, and now we're just like, damn, bro, work is trash. And it's not trash, and we're working on it, and we're building it back up and whatnot, but it's, and then, like, my plans, hearing myself talk about my plans to go to New York and stuff like that, and how they got canceled and everything, it's actually really sad. And that's another reason why I want to do a reflection episode for myself, honestly. I think that's mostly what they're for. So in the future, definitely, hopefully, within the next few weeks, I'll get one of those done. But I don't know. But it was, hearing about his experience in Nevada was amazing. And, it was very beneficial to him. And I think, you can get a secondhand type of thing from that. And maybe that inspired you to go, maybe look into going out and working in Nevada or Arizona or a desert somewhere. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great week. Thank you so much. I love you, amen. Okay, bye. Bro, something I noticed about you love shitting.